What's going on, Ken folks? You know who it is. It's your guy Yoni, and welcome to Key to the City Media. We're doing a little something different this time. But before we get started, I want to continue to thank everybody that's been supporting the podcast, whether that's liking, sharing, commenting, just spreading the word by word of mouth, whatever you're doing. I truly appreciate it. You don't have to do it, but you do it, and I'm very grateful for it. So everyone knows that we already have the Key to the City podcast, which is under the umbrella of Key to the City Media. And I thought of doing something different with this episode, starting a new platform entitled No Justice, No Peace, where we basically shine light on unsolved crimes that's out there in the world. There's a lot of people hurting, they're losing family members, and no one's being held accountable for it. So whatever's going on that in which justice needs to be provided, we're on the job of doing that. So I've created this new platform, and in this episode today, we'll be speaking about a young man by the name of Jauan Tolbert. He's a 19-year-old that was murdered December 1st, 2019 here in Jackson near I-55 and Beasley Road. No one has been charged in his murder, and that's what we're here for today, to seek justice. I have his mother here with me today, Miss Tunja Tolbert, who I'll be introducing shortly. And we're just here to spread the word, get the word out about Jauan, and hopefully it'll touch someone's heart to say something if you know what's going on. And let's get justice for this mother. No parent should have to bury their child, and I can only imagine what she's feeling right now. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Key to the City, Miss Tunja Tolbert. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
No problem. Thank you for being here during this tough time. How's your day going so far?
So far, so good. I made it here safe, and I'm here to talk about, justice for Jauan.
Absolutely. Before we even get started, I just want to say that I admire your strength. I admire your resilience. I admire that you continue to keep fighting. We spoke earlier about some of your personal battles that you've overcome. So this is another test in your life that God has presented to you.
Yes.
And I think throughout your experiences, He has definitely equipped you with the necessary resiliency to continue to push forward. So I just want to say I admire your strength.
Thank you.
We love you here on Key to the City Media, even if it's just my first time meeting you. So
Thank
keep
you.
on pushing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Jauan for a minute. What kind of child was he? How was he as a person?
Jauan was he was very happy. He was free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He played a lot of sports in school, and he was very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And Jauan was very spoiled because he was his dad and I's baby.
Right.
So he was very spoiled, and he was loved by everybody in our family. I loved Jauan so much, because he was like my special child,
Yeah. How's his personality?
Jauan he's a happy kid, he loved to joke and, play jokes on you and stuff like that. So very, happy kid, and
Now, what school did Jauan attend? High school?
Jauan attended Murrah High School. Among other schools that he attended, through the junior high, but he went to Murrah High School.
Okay. Was he a senior or had he already graduated?
Jauan actually didn't graduate from school. I don't know, something happened to him. I noticed the change in Jauan about when he around 17, and but I wasn't I didn't really know because Jauan lived here. I was living at the time in Montgomery, Alabama.
Right.
So, but I noticed a kind of change in him. He kind of grew distant a little bit. He, to me, I would think maybe had some depression going on, but also he had something that he was holding on to that he would not tell anybody.
Right.
And I often question him, what's going on? You can tell Mama, I will never judge you. And he never told me,
Right. And parents have that intuition. They can see when something's bothering us. And most of the time, we can easily chalk that up to that's teenagers being teenagers. They're trying to find themselves. but I know your spirit told you that something was weighing heavy on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this may be difficult to talk about, but let's discuss that fateful day. I want to know, had you spoken to Jauan that day, and also what was going on when you got that call and what was said?
Well, before I got the call, like Jauan and I talked every single day.
That's a blessing.
Like I was gonna save his life no matter what. Of course, I wanted to run it too. Because we talked every day, I talked to him actually earlier that day of the first, before he got killed. So, before he was murdered. So, but on Saturday, Jauan called me. I was actually out of town, and he said to me, he was so happy. He was like, so happy, like more happy than the norm. And I didn't even think anything different, like something was gonna happen to him.
Right.
He called me, and of course, as he always, Mom, can you send me some money? And I was like, sure. And he, you know, he just kept telling me, I love you, lady, I love you.
Was that normal for him to say it so many times?
No, that wasn't normal. And looking back, I wish I could have held on the phone a little longer. The last thing he asked was, Mom, you gonna get me down there for Christmas? And I said, what are you talking about, boy? You coming down with your sister. You know, I was excited, you know, because it was gonna also be the first time that I would have almost all my kids together. You know, Jauan lived with his father. His father raised him due to some decisions and challenges that I made in my life.
Right.
I didn't raise him, but I was very much a part of his life. And when he called me that Sunday about 5 o'clock that evening, and he said, Mom, these people called me into work because Jauan had a job. He was working for UPS, and he was working at Popeye's Chicken. So he said, Mom, these people called me into work. Can you send me some money? And I said, okay. So I sent it to him, and then I texted him back. I said, did you eat? And he says, no, I was going to ask you to give me money for food. I said, no problem. And that was it. And I want to say this. That night, I couldn't sleep. And I woke up. I would never forget. It was like around 1:03, because I called a friend of mine and I said, I'm having a nightmare and I can't sleep, and I just need you to stay on the phone with me while I sleep. And what the nightmare was that I heard a gunshot. I saw him fall, and then I saw him ride off in a car smiling, and not even knowing the connection.
This was before you were told anything?
Before I was told anything.
Wow.
And the friend I was on the phone with that asked to stay on the phone with me while I sleep because he was a truck driver. So I was just, I got up the next morning, but you know, something was strange about that morning. Like I had a peace, like, and I woke up and I prayed and I got dressed for work and I went about put money on Jauan's card because I created him a cash app.
Right.
And I put money on the card, and you know, normally I would call him, but I didn't that morning. About 1 that afternoon, that's when I got a call from his cousin saying, have you talked to Jauan's father? And I was like, no. And I was like, what's wrong? And she wouldn't tell me. She hesitated for a minute. I said, you need to tell me what's going on right now. And she said, Jauan's been shot. And I went crazy. And so I didn't know that he wasn't gonna pull through. I went home and I sat there for a minute and I just prayed. And then I got myself together collectively and I got on the highway and I drove to Jackson. Still not even knowing that my baby wasn't gonna pull through. And when I got here. He was on life support. But I prayed for him. And I slept in the room with him that night because in my mind, I knew God wasn't going to take my son right then. I knew it, but they had one more test to do on him. And I prayed to God that he would respond, and he didn't. And I had to make a decision to take my baby off life support.
Wow.
And the pain is so great. Like people say, I understand, no. It doesn't compare to even losing your mom. I feel like a piece of my soul has been snatched away from me. I think about him every single day. There is not a day that go by. I wake up with him on my mind. I go to sleep with him on my mind. Throughout my day, I'm thinking about him. And that's why I'm asking for justice. And I put out Facebook posts. Thank you so much for reaching out to me, because I felt like at that point, like I couldn't do nothing else, but put out the post. And then I saw a messenger that day that you reached out to me. And I'm forever grateful. I know now I understand mothers who have lost their child.
Right.
I understand, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And for somebody to just take your child's life, knowing that he got a sister, he has brothers, he has cousins, he has a family, he has a father, he has a mother that would go to bats for him. And that's why when you reached out to me, I didn't hesitate to take off work and to be here, because people need to know that justice needs to be served. People need to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
When they are taking people's lives. I know God sees everything, but more importantly, like, justice just has to be served. Like, it has to. I can't sleep at night, thinking about my son. It's been, since that happened, I have like so many restless nights, if anybody knows anything, like, help me.
Please.
Help Jauan. He was my baby, and he was his dad baby. And we miss him, we love him. And I just feel like, I know finding the person that did this, it won't bring Jauan back. But I think about the mothers or the person that did it and think they got away.
Right.
Okay, so if you feel like that it was so easy for you to do and get away with it, what if they take it upon themselves to do it to somebody else's child?
Exactly.
Or do it again?
Exactly.
And so that's why it's so important to me. Yes, I want to know who did that to Jauan, but I also want to prevent that from happening to somebody else's kid. That same person could be, looking to do that to somebody else's child.
Exactly.
Just because they got away with it.
Yes, ma'am. And that's why I wanted to reach out, so you don't have to thank me or my assistant, Crystal.
Yes.
We just know that this could be any of us in this situation. And like I say, the pain of burying a child, like, I can't imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. That's why I try to do everything in my power to get you some type of comfort, some type of consolation, a relief in the process. Speaking to the public, like I told you in the beginning, I admire your strength. How are you able to continue during this time? How are you able to stay strong? How are you able to continue to fight? Most people have a spiritual source that they go to. What keeps you going?
Well, as we talked earlier prior to us airing, God is my greatest source and strength. Because of my own story, my life, I never knew how to give up on life. And even now, fighting for Jauan, I use that same resilience that I took for my own life, and I now channel that to finding justice for Jauan. I don't know how to give up. All I know how to do is fight. And that's why I'm here today, like fighting for Jauan, because I just want to have some closure, and finding out what happened to him.
And for the person that's responsible for his murder, what do you want them to know?
I want them to know.
First, they need to know they did not break you.
That's right. They did not break me. In fact, it built me even stronger. I thought I was strong because of overcoming life challenges that I faced, in the past.
Right.
But it's made me stronger as a person, because of my own story, like it didn't break me. In fact, it built me. And that's all I know how to do. It's just fight.
And what can the public do to help you in this situation?
I would like for the public, if anyone knows anything, like to speak out, like to come forward. You just think about it as if this was your brother, your sister, your family member, your cousin, and come forward, because it could be that the tables could turn or might turn. And God forbid that you wouldn't have to experience or be sitting here in the same seat that I'm sitting in today. For me, I know that God sees everything, but if I knew something like that it could help save somebody else's life, then that would be the best gift that I could give to anyone, is to come forth, to tell, because to me, I feel like if you know something and you don't tell, you're just as guilty as the person that did it.
Yep.
So why not, come forth? Why not help me find closure? Why not just do the right thing? Just speak up. Just come forth. And even if you don't want to do it, like publicly,
you can do it anonymously.
You can do it anonymously. It's about finding justice. And it's about me finding some peace so that I can continue to live my life and allow Jauan to live too.
How's your interaction been with law enforcement? What are we hearing from them?
It's been a struggle because, like I call them every day, and I've been being a detective as well.
Right.
Like I'm on the Facebook. There are some suspects. People have been talking, but they just won't come forth and tell the whole truth. So those suspects that they are looking at, I try to find out more information for them. Everything that I know that I do get some information of, I share with the law enforcement. I feel like there's more that they could do.
Right.
I feel like that they're not doing enough. And I'm sorry, but it was told that to the detective that maybe this job is too big for you.
Wow.
Because, this is my son you're talking about, but now they're starting to kind of like give me information, but I still feel like as the police department, I watch first 48 hours, I see all this stuff and I'm calling the detective and I'm like, hey, pull his phone records, look on the tower, see where's he coming from.
Exactly.
We got his phone record to see who called him that night, but of course it wasn't, Jauan kind of became a loner, during those times too. So it wasn't like it was people calling there. It was mainly my phone number, his dad, his grandmother, because that's who he relied on. But I feel like the Jackson Police Department could be doing more with all that information that I did give.
Right.
I want to say this.
Say it.
That night when Jauan passed, my daughter got a messenger that this guy had put out this post on Facebook, and he said some things that kind of raised a flag with us, like, you know, I don't want to say, but like, you know, found him slumped over on 55, right? So people started to comment, and then he took it down, and he tried to say that it was a rap song, right? And so, of course, you know, my daughter was able to get a screenshot of it.
Right.
So I did turn that in to the detective, and then I got some more information of a guy that Jauan was friends with that had it in for him. And this stuff goes back all the way to middle school, and that was so crazy. And about 2 days before Jauan was murdered, he cut his hair off. So that was another suspect, you know, that I thought because of that, and then said he now lives in Louisiana.
Jauan said that?
The other guy. Okay. It's posted like now he lives in Louisiana, as if he wasn't here.
So he was trying to change his identity, seemed like relocate.
Yes. And you know, and I've talked to the detectives, and I'm like, you need to be talking to these guys. You know, as much as I see on TV, and I'm thinking like, okay, you should be able to call these guys in. Like, I know you have to have probable cause, but if you've gotten that kind of evidence, you know, at least it raises suspicion that you will at least want to look into it. You know, even if you didn't get the truth, you know, but at least, you know, you started, you know, looking into it. And it's been a slow process, and that's why I play the detective so much. Like I'm on their pages, like I'm watching you.
Most mothers are detectives anyway.
Yeah, I use my motherly instinct, you know. And but yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not asking for justice; we're begging for justice.
Yes.
Like I said before, this could easily be any one of us, especially with kids. So, with all the crime that's going on today, man, let's join together, spread the word, and find some justice for Miss Tolbert. And overall, man, let's just start showing more love to each other. There's no situation that can't be hashed out by talking or scrapping. Put the guns down, you know. There's no coming back from losing your life. Stop the violence, stop the killing. Continue to share, spread the word this episode. We will find justice for Jauan and any others that's out there and their homicides are unsolved. Totally unacceptable. If you know something, say something. Get out that street mentality bull. It's time to start saving our people. Anything else you would like the audience to know before we wrap it up?
Other than I'm actually wanting to get ready to start a walk, and it's called Walking for Justice, and it's in honor in memory of Jauan Tolbert, my son. And the walk is to stop the violence, to come together and join hands and stand for justice.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm also going to be coming down and attending the city council meeting so that we can get this walk set up and started. And Jauan has a birthday coming up in April the 14th. Jauan would make 20 years old.
Okay.
So my goal is that we have everything set up in motion to do that on Jauan's birthday. So if you're here and you're listening, please come out and support justice. Remember, it's not just about what happened to Jauan, but it could be you, someone in your child, someone in your family, your cousin, you know, your son, your daughter, you know. So if you watching, just come out and support and walk for justice. We need to come together as a community, as a city.
Right.
As a city. Like, I don't live here, but I've been getting so many calls about the different crimes here in Jackson, you know, and why not we come together rather than tear each other apart? Together we can grow stronger.
So powerful.
You know, and yeah, just bring the justice, help bring justice.
Well, definitely, if there's anything we can do to help you with the walk, you got my information. Just
Yes.
reach out.
Thank
I'll
you.
be willing to help you in any way possible. If you want to shout out to her, send her some love, man, on her page. Just post on her page, encourage her, continue to support her, and let her know that you're fighting with her in whatever capacity you're doing that in. I thank y'all once again for taking time out your day to tune in to Key to the City Media. We're steady growing, we're steady building up a community, and we're steady shining light on injustices such as this. I'm your kinfolk Yoni. This is Miss Tunja Tolbert, and we're doing this for Jauan Tolbert. Fly high, my guy. We love you.